You've been told your whole life that being good at your job keeps you safe. Work harder, deliver results, build credibility, and you always have a place. That used to be true. Until now. Because in the age of AI, being good at your job isn't protection anymore. It's exposure. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Thomas Schmidt, and I've spent over 3 decades as a technology and business executive, including roles as COO, CMO, and VP product, leading teams through multiple industry and technology disruptions. Now, as a consultant, I work with organizations to optimize how they manage technology, streamline operations, and sharpen both their marketing and product strategies. But I also help mid-career professionals reinvent their careers for what's coming next. And that's why I make these videos, to give you practical insights that help you stay relevant, competitive, and excited about your future. Okay, let's get into it. AI doesn't come for the lazy. It comes for the consistent. It comes for the excellent. Because that's where the patterns are. That's where the data lives. That's where the systems learn. Every predictable process, every documented method, every repeatable success, that feeds the machine that eventually replaces it. You're not being replaced because you're bad at what you do. You're being replaced because you're too good at doing it the same way every time. For decades, mastery was the safest thing you could have. Now, mastery is what makes you visible to automation. The better you are at something structured, the easier it is for AI to learn it. And that's what makes this shift so brutal. Because everything you were taught to trust is exactly what the system now uses against you. Your reliability becomes your vulnerability. Your expertise becomes the training data. Your competence becomes the template. AI doesn't replace failure. It replaces pattern. What makes you good? Your precision, your thoroughness, your dependability is exactly what teaches AI how to mimic you. And once it learns, it doesn't need you to repeat it anymore. That's the quiet betrayal built into the next decade of work. You used to be rewarded for mastery. Now you're punished for it. Silently, systematically, and without warning. Because once a machine can do what you do faster, cheaper, and without rest, it doesn't matter how much pride you take in doing it well. Excellence no longer guarantees value. It guarantees visibility. And that's the first wave, recognition. The moment when you realize that everything that once kept you safe is the very thing now putting you at risk. And here's the cruel irony no one talks about. AI doesn't just observe great performers, it learns from them. So the better you are at your job, the faster it studies you, the faster it understands you, and the faster it replaces you. Your discipline, your habits, your methods, they become the blueprint. Think about it. Every best practice document, every workflow you helped refine, every report that shows how you analyze or communicate or decide. It's all being fed into the system. The more predictable your excellence is, the easier it becomes to replicate. AI doesn't need to steal your secrets. You've already documented them in SOPs, templates, and dashboards. And that's the paradox. You're not being automated despite being exceptional. You're being automated because you are exceptional. You spent years building systems that don't fail. Now, those systems are teaching machines not to need you. The process you perfected is now the process that replaces you. You become the teacher of your own redundancy, not because you made a mistake, but because you made it too easy to learn from you. And that's when something shifts, something subtle, but irreversible. You start noticing that people don't ask you how anymore. They just ask, can you check this? You're no longer the creator, you're the validator. You're still respected, but no longer required for the process. You're still involved, but only as a safety net, not a foundation. And this is where pride starts turning into anxiety. Because you haven't lost your skill, you've lost your gravity. You're still in the room, but the room no longer orbits around you. And that's when it hits you. The system you helped make more efficient just became more efficient without you. And it's not malicious. No one's trying to replace you. They're just optimizing. They're just using the tools. They're just adapting. And in that adaptation, you become the legacy system. Still useful, but no longer necessary. Still trusted, but no longer essential. Still part of the story, but no longer the point of it. And that's the second wave. Disbelief. The moment you realize you've done everything right, and somehow the reason you're being left behind. Here's what most people get wrong. The goal was never to outperform AI. It's to out-exist it. Because AI can replicate your skill, but it can't replicate your judgment. It can predict your next move, but it can't understand why you made it. And that tiny gap, that space between skill and judgment, is where your new safety lives. You can't compete with AI at being faster, but you can compete with it by being wiser. You can't outcalculate it, but you can outcontext it. You can't outperform its memory, but you can outperform its meaning. And that's the new game. And the people who survive this decade won't be the ones with the best skills. They'll be the ones who know how to connect skills in ways AI can't see. AI can replicate outputs, but it can't replicate original synthesis. It can reproduce empathy, but not emotional weight. It can simulate leadership, but not at the cost of earning trust. It can imitate your voice, but not your conviction. So if competence no longer protects you, what does? Curiosity, adaptability, judgment, creative risk, and the courage to stop defending the system that's quietly outgrowing you. Because the professionals who will thrive aren't the ones clinging to yesterday's expertise. They're the ones turning their expertise into insight. They don't fear the tools. They use them to magnify what makes them human. The people who stay relevant aren't the ones who know how to do the work. They're the ones who know why the work matters. Because that's what AI still can't touch. Meaning, purpose, intention. Everything that turns a skill into significance. And if you want real job security now, stop trying to be the best at what you already do. Start trying to be the first at what's about to matter. Relevance is no longer a reward for mastery. It's a reward for motion. The ones who keep moving, who keep learning, reinventing, reframing, they're the ones AI can't quite catch. Because every time it learns your last move, you're already making your next one. And that's the third wave. Reframe. The moment you stop trying to outrun the machine and start rising above the parts it can't reach. You don't need to outperform AI. You need to out-evolve it. And in the next video, we'll talk about what that actually looks like, why so many people are winning the wrong game, and how to pivot before the system quietly writes you out of its future. And if this gave you a new perspective, please hit that like button and share it with a friend who's feeling uncertain about the future of work. And of course, subscribe for more weekly insights on how to grow, evolve, and future-proof your career in the age of AI. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep showing the world that your best work is still ahead of you. And I'll see you in the next one.